So so like if someone came in and they had, because that only makes sense. If someone came in and your shaft is like too far under, well, of course you got to feel the opposite to go neutral, right?
And if somebody's going too much this way, you're going to have them feel like they're going that way.
Okay, yeah.
So teaching is a blend of information. You can't just carbon copy and carbon paste for everybody, because everybody has a different illness. It's like if we all went to the doctor and they gave us the same medication, okay, some you help, some aren't too bad off, and some you kill.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is you kill more people than you help if all you do is the same thing for everybody. So the better you get as a teacher, the more you know what you want to have happen, you know how to get it, you watch a person, you figure out, okay, what's the one most important medication for this person?
Yeah.
And you let that go and you let it develop a little bit and you see what it fixes. You know, but it's not about everybody does this and we're all the same and everybody makes the same move and does the same thing. No.
Right.
I don't think I've ever had two students that I've given exactly the same information to.
Right, exactly.
Maybe the basic concepts, but different drills.
They feel it different.
They feel it different.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. I have somebody make a swing when we're doing that. Like I say, okay, what do you feel like's happening when you do that? And some people will say, I know the biomechanics. I know the muscle firing pattern. I know what they're supposed to be feeling with their scapular contractions, their internal, external. I mean, no, I know what's going on. And then they'll say, well, it felt like my left shoulder went straight up. I went, what?
Yeah.
Well, this has no relevance to what you just did. But if that's what they feel when they do it, okay, make your left shoulder go up more.
Yeah, pink elephant, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because feelings are individual. That's why, again, when I say that the biomechanics is a science, and we're an art form. You know, our bodies, we're an art form of this world. Mm-hmm. And so what you feel when you move isn't what I feel.
Yeah.
So for me to stand here and say, well, here's what I feel when I'm doing it. Okay.
Yeah, for you relative to,
well, unless you're a carbon of me,
right, that
may not help you.
Yep.
And for me to say, everybody needs to get the club here and go like that. Now, this I like a lot more. This is what Sergio does. This is what Ricky Fowler does. They get the club laid off and they start down and the handle comes down faster than the club head, or at least the same speed. And at some point in time, the club head stops and it goes back. That's how they accelerate the club. They accelerate it with this and that.
And would you say, that's, again, perfectly, makes only sense. If I went to the top, Mike, and I went up like this, let's flip off 1 second. So if I go here, because it's all just relative. If I'm Freddie Couples, or I'm long and across the line, well, I need to there's going to be some natural of the club going back this way early, and then this way. If I'm over here, I'm not going to go back down more,
right,
anomaly, John, but I'm going to, the more I get the club back like this, the more it's going to come back here to be neutral.
Right.
The more I'm across the line, the more it's going to go this way to be neutral.
Right.
It's all just getting to the same spot.
Right, and if you're talking forces and you just want to be in theory,
yeah,
you'd be better off maximum external rotation when you start down, the club immediately starts working out in front of you.
Yeah.
So then you're tracking just like this. If you go here and you're dropping and twisting, you're fighting a force going this way, and to get it right in the same line all the time is a lot harder to do. Yeah. Are there players that have done it? Yes, there are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's guys out there now that there's also guys that are tracking it right on.
Absolutely.
Now, if I had to pick from a joint capsule and forces, the guy who's on line to a little laid off, who starts down, the club automatically starts working out in front of him and then goes here, I'm picking that guy every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's less compensations, less forces you have to deal with, and it's easier to get the club in the same arc all the time.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's, like I say, there's others that don't work? No, I mean, like I told you earlier, I took 5 totally different methods to the finals of the tour school. So I even was able to take, I mean, I'm talking totally opposite.
I haven't taken one yet, but
well,
we're working there.
And I got to the finals. So, I mean, why could I do it? Well, I could do it because decent to above average hand-eye coordination, and I was willing to hit thousands of balls.
Yeah.
And I got pretty good to where I could keep it in front of me, and I was decent at that level. Unfortunately, under a lot of pressure, what I was doing, the compensations I had to make, I'd hit too big of misses under pressure. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have had a better chance to make it because I wouldn't have been fighting myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, the older you get, the better you were. I mean, you're not very old, but you wait. You're going to get old enough where every tournament you played in, you should have won.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Yeah.
But
it's already happening.
It is, but so what we just talked about, transition, transition for most teachers is hard, and people have a hard time out of the top getting over it. It's because their transition is late.
Got it.
So if you wait long enough and you do this, you're going to transition with your upper body. But if transition is a constant flow, so here's the other big thing, and this we can kind of close with this.
Yeah.
The top of my swing. You made the comment a couple of times.
Yeah.
Somebody says, what do you think of the top of my swing? I go, what? What are you talking about? Well, the top. I go, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you know the top? I said, no, I don't know the top. I know it's a starts and it finishes. There is no top. Because if you're thinking top, you're going to go top and go. See, the top, what the top is, relative to forces, it's the inertia of the club is going this way, and all of a sudden the inertia of the club stops going that way and it hesitates before it goes the other way. They call that the top, but it's not static.
Yep.
See, it happens because of motions going opposite directions. But if your brain thinks top and go, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because you can't transition correctly because you're trying to get to the top.
Yep.
So when people say that to me, what do you think of the top of my swing? I go, I don't even know where that is. I do it to them to throw them a curveball.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
well, you know, up here, I go, oh, you mean where your club changes its directions? Well, that's the top. I said, well, top is a point. It's a constant motion. So there's a start and there's a finish. Everything else in between is a function of constant motion.
Yep.
You can't be thinking of any positions when you're doing that because it's constant motion. And the fact that people think get to the top, and I had a guy tell me that, swing to the top, get on your right side, hold it for 2 seconds, and then hit it. Oh my God, did I get bad. I mean, I couldn't even get the club on the ball. The driver, I was okay, but you put it on the ground, and I'd get here and then try to go. I mean, I was steep and over. I mean, couldn't get back to it.
Yeah.
And they convinced me that I had to get behind it, behind the ball, that's behind it. You know, you're to the side of the ball.
Yeah.
So they said, get here, get there where you can hold this foot, and get the club to the top, stand there, and then go. I mean, I started sliding all over the place, and I'm hit behind it, hit in front of it, because I'd come out of this game where top, baseball, if you said, let's see the top of your baseball swing. You ever heard them talk about the top of your, how about the top of your forehand in tennis?
Yeah, no.
Well, then why do we talk about the top of a golf swing?
Yeah.
You don't talk in those sports.
Right, that's true.
Because there is no top. It's a constant motion. If you keep it as a constant motion, the change of directions will tilt your spine, tilt your shoulders, and make your arms shallow, if that's what you want. Then how much more you want the club to shallow determines on what you're doing with your hands.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, is an individual thing based on what somebody's tendencies are.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and we're always trying to, we're doctors, you know, we're looking at, we find an illness and you give them a different prescription than you do everybody else. If you gave everybody the same prescription, like I said before, you'd probably be out of business because they'd probably kill a few people and you'd be in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So it's about that blend.
Love it. Love it. Beautiful. Mike, thanks, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
pal.
you.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel for regular updates and tips. Thanks for watching.